Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today, we're making a stingray. So, this adorable little guy, this one is just over a foot long if I stretched out the tail a little bit, but we got a little curvy thing going on because it's cute. And then fin to fin, it's about 10.5 inches. So, perfect size for the little hammerhead shark, which is which was requested. So this yarn here, I'm going to tell you, I'm not using this yarn for the video today, even though it's super cute. Look at the colors. I love the way it worked out. This is a Red Heart Super Saver, and it is parrot stripe. This is hard to find. I actually had to go to yarn.ca to find the parrot stripe. It is very hard to find. This is generally the one you can find in stores. And the parrot stripe, there is the cake. It doesn't come in cakes. It comes in rolls, by the way. Red Heart Super Saver comes in rolls, 7-ounce rolls. But in this video, I decided I wanted to use this chunky velvet. This is, the color is called Omphalodes. I don't know why anybody would do that. What do I got going on here? This is Loops and Threads Sweet Snuggle Light. That's the tag. It calls for an 8mm, so it's a chunky one. I don't know if it's a 5 or 6. I don't recall. But that's what it is anyway. Sweet Snuggles. It comes in an 8.8 ounce ball, which we're obviously not going to need all of. So I'm going to stick to the same pattern that I used for this little guy, but if you just want him to be as small like this, to go with the hammerhead shark, which was the request, then you're just going to do it in this 4-weight, because this parrot snuggle is just a 4-weight. It's almost on the worsted side, but it's not worsted. It's just 4-weight, but it is a little fluffy 4-weight, so you will get a decent size like this little guy. Or just use worsted weight if you don't want to, obviously the variegation, and you just want a solid color. Just use a thicker 4-weight or a worsted weight yarn. The hook I used to make this guy is a 4.5, but I think this guy, I'm going to use a 7. It does call for an 8, but I do build this in amigurumi, so I'm going to go down in hook size. So if you're looking at making something this size, then it's going to be the exact same pattern, just with a different hook and different yarn. So I'm going to go big this time. I'm really excited about this, so let's get into it. So I'd like to add one more thing. I am using these 16mm eyes on this little guy. These are 12mm safety eyes. So I'm going to go with the big guns. Okie dokie. So like I said, I'm using this big thick stuff with my number 7. If you're using regular 4-weight or 4-weight worsted and whatever hook the yarn calls for, just go down in hook size a bit, just so it's a bit of a tighter weave. If you crochet tight to begin with, then you don't need to worry about going down in hook size. So we're going to start by making a slip knot, and we're going to chain 15. I'm going to do 13, so we're going to work in the round with this chain. So I'm going to work 13 single crochets. starting in the first space. You have 14 working stitches. So single crochet all the way up till you have 1 stitch left. So that's my 13 single crochet. I have 1 stitch left. And in that stitch, I'm going to put 4 single crochets all in the same space. You're going to watch it curve around, and I want you to follow that curve so we can work on the other side. That's what working in the round means. So put 4 single crochets in this last space. Follow the curve around. So you're going to want to still tighten your stitch, your slip knot. Because it will open. So right here where your slip knot is, make sure you're getting into this stitch right after it. And you're going to do 12 single crochets. That's my 12 single crochets, and I'm going to cut off my little straggler. I didn't quite get weaved in, just so it doesn't irritate me. So you do have 1 stitch left, and I want you to put 4 single crochets into that last stitch, and you'll see it work around. So if you're using this stuff like I am, your next 2 stitches, putting 4 stitches in there, is going to partially cover the stitch you need to get into. There is a stitch right there. So let's go ahead and get into that stitch with 2 single crochets. Let's use a marker, and on this first stitch that you did, so go back 1, put a marker on that stitch. So this first stitch has 2 single crochets, and I know it's super duper squishy if you're using the blue fluffy stuff like I am, but so now I just want you to do 13 stitches, 13 single crochets. So we've got these 3 stitches here at the top, and I want you to put 2 single crochets in each of those stitches. I almost yarned over for some reason. So 2 single crochets in each stitch. So just count to 6. And now I want you to crochet 1 single crochet in each stitch till you get back over here and you have 2 stitches left. So that's my 14 single crochets, and I have 2 stitches left, and I'm going to put 2 single crochets in each stitch. So I'm just matching the other side. So because the stitch marker's here, you know that there's a stitch there if you're using the fluffy stuff like me. Holy cow. So for the next 2 rows, I just want you to put 1 single crochet in each stitch. So that's my 2 rows. Mine obviously is way bigger than yours. I'm excited to see what size this turns out. I think my little grandsons are going to love this big, warm, cuddly guy. So your next round, we're going to start with 2 single crochets in this first stitch. So of course after the first stitch, that's where your marker goes. Then you're going to do 15 single crochets. So over the next 4 stitches, so these guys right here at the top of this curve, you're going to put 2 single crochets in each of these. So 8 stitches. This is how we increase. And then I want you to do 1 single crochet in each stitch till you've got 3 stitches left over here. So we used 4 here, but that's why we started our 2 single crochets in this stitch. So that would be the 4th stitch technically coming from this side, in case you're wondering why it seems uneven, but it seems to be working out. So 16 single crochets. So that's my 16 single crochets. I've got 3 stitches left. I'm going to put 2 single crochets in each of them. Alrighty. And now I just want you to put 1 single crochet in each of what should be 47 stitches. And then we'll start making the fins. So this is what you should have. There's probably something smaller because you're using a regular size yarn. So I need to talk to you about what's going to happen next. Next we're going to be making the fins. Everything is crocheted together, is one piece, so nothing is sewn on. So we're building the fins on. So I've added something to the PDF. So if you're following my PDFs, if you're a member, and you follow my PDFs, the picot decrease is what we're going to be incorporating in this, and this is just kind of to fill in a gap, so to speak. So we're going to be incorporating that into the next round. Basically, you slip your hook into the 2 pieces of yarn like you're doing a picot. So if anyone knows what you're doing, how to do a picot, the 2 pieces of yarn. Now I'm going to show you, so don't worry about it. I'm just trying to experienced people. I'm just trying to explain what it is in case you don't know, but most people probably do know. So you're just using the 2 bars that you would picot into, but after you pull up a loop, instead of doing a slip stitch, you're going to go into the next stitch and complete like you're doing a decrease. So that's what a picot decrease is going to be, and it's just to join together something without a gap. So that being said, your first round is going to be 21 single crochet. Well, not your first round. Your first bunch of stitches is going to be 21 single crochets. That's number 1. So 21 when you lay it down, that's where your 21st stitch is, which is basically right here on this side. If you laid it down to look like that, sorry, I guess it helps if I zoom out a touch. So that's 21 stitches. Now I want you to chain 13. That's my 13. And I want you to do 12 single crochets all the way back down. You only have 12 working stitches. The 13th one is still on your hook. So every single stitch gets a single crochet. This is my 12th, so I'm down at the bottom. And right here is where we were talking about the picot decrease. Let's make sure I'm all the way zoomed in. So these two bars right here, this one and this one, is going to be used for the picot part. And then we'll complete it like a decrease using this next stitch right here. So you're going to go into these two bars and then complete it using this stitch. So we're doing a picot decrease. So take your hook, slip it into those two bars, pull up a loop. Now a normal picot you would slip stitch. We're not doing that. You're just pulling up this loop. So pull up a loop and then go into the next stitch. Pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull through all three. That is a picot decrease, and that's just so you have no gaps in here. And that is our first fin. So now you're going to do 23 single crochets. So 23 brings you to the exact same spot, because there's where our hole is, and it's just on the one side. And you're going to chain 13. And you're going to do 12 single crochets back down. So this is my 12th stitch, and we're at the picot decrease spot. So we're going to picot, pull up a loop, go into this next stitch, pull up a loop, and then decrease. So pull through all three, and then one single crochet to end the row. And now we've got our two fins started. So your next round is going to be 31. We're still going to keep increasing a little bit. So this next round starts off with 31 single crochets, and then we get into an increase. So that's my 31 stitches, and I'm right here where I've got these two stitches here at the top. And I'm just going to put 2 single crochets in each of these 2 stitches to increase this guy at the end, because this is going to be the end of his fin. So 2 single crochets in each of those 2 stitches, and then I want you to do 45 single crochets, which should take you to the top of this other fin where you're going to do the exact same thing. So that's my 45 stitches, and I've got these 2 stitches at the top. I'm going to put 2 single crochets in each of those. And then I want you to do 13 single crochets back to your marker. There we go. So we can put the eyes in any time that we want to. I never actually... Oh, I do put the eyes in, but like it's way down between rows 22 and 23. And currently we are on the 9th row. So this one starts off with 32 stitches. That's my 32 stitches. So these next 3 stitches, you're going to put 2 single crochets in each stitch. And then I want you to do 47 stitches to the other side. So I'm all the way over here to the other side, and these next 3 stitches, you're going to put 2 single crochets in each of them. And then it's 13 single crochets back to your marker. So your next round is going to be 1 single crochet in each stitch. You should have 103 stitches. So just 1 round of 1 single crochet in each stitch all the way around, and I will see you on the other side. So I counted 104, so I think I have an extra stitch, but that's okay. So your next round, we're going to start with 20 single crochets. So I'm right at the area where I go from body to fin, and I'm going to do SC 3 talk. So that means to single crochet 3 together. So that means you go into the first stitch, pull up a loop, Second stitch, pull up a loop, and the third stitch, pull up a loop, and you're going to yarn over and pull through all of those loops. So then I want you to do 26 single crochets. That's my 26th stitch, and I'm at the crook of the fin and the body, and I want you to do SC3 tog again. And then I want you to do 20 single crochets. That is my 20th single crochet, and I'm at the crook of the fin and the body on the other side, so I want you to do a single crochet 3 together, and then 25 single crochets and do the SC3 tog again. That is my 25 single crochets. I'm going to do SC3 tog again, and this should take you right to your marker, but I have this extra stitch, so it did not take me to my marker. I have one extra stitch, so when I start the next round, which is just one single crochet in each stitch, I'm just going to decrease these two just so I get back to my number count. So your next round is just going to be one single crochet in what should be 95 stitches, and I will see you on the other side. So I'm back around. I have 95 stitches. I had to do a decrease in there just so I got caught up on the right number. So I have 95 stitches. We're going to do the same decreases as we did. We're going to decrease in the crook where the fins attach. And it's going to be the same as the last time. And this will be the last time we do this type of decrease. And then we'll just get into normal decreases after this. So your first bunch of stitches, you're going to do 20 single crochets. This is bring it over to this area between the body and the fin, where we're going to do an SC3 tog again. So 20 single crochets. So that's my 20 single crochets. I'm going to do an SC3 tog again. And then I'm going to do 8 single crochets. So that is 8 single crochets. I am near the top of the fin, and I want to do my another decrease here. So an SC3 tog. The top of mine is right in this next stitch. So you're kind of on that little side top. So now I want you to do 11 single crochets. This is helping to kind of just shape this fin. And we're back to where the crook is, and we're going to do an SC3 tog. Now I want you to do 17 single crochets. So we're near the crook, and we're going to do an SC 3 tog again. And then 9 single crochets. So I'm near the top. I'm going to do an SC3 tog again. And then 10 single crochets. And then an SC3 tog again. So I have 2 stitches left. I don't know if you'd have any stitches left. I didn't actually write any more stitches down. So I'm just going to put 2 single crochets in each, or 1 single crochet in each of those stitches. So this is what you should have at this point. That's what it should look like. So for your next round, you're going to do 1 single crochet in each stitch all the way around. And then we're just going to keep decreasing from there. So we're going to start decreasing. You should have 83 stitches. So we're going to start decreasing, regular decreases. So none of this SE3 tog business anymore. We're going to do, and in between our decreases, we're going to do 1 row of 1 single crochet in each stitch. I'm going to put that on a pause screen just to make the video a little bit quicker with all my counts. But your decreases, you're not going to get all the way around with the numbers that we have. You're going to get 8 times around, and you're going to have 3 extra stitches. And you're going to do that for every single decrease. It's going to be the same. So don't fret thinking you have all these extra stitches. You don't. You should have the extra stitches. So I'm not going to go into 8 times around every single time that we do this. I'm just going to tell you what the decrease is. So just know that when your pause screen comes up, you're going to have your decrease row, and then you're going to have the next round on there, which is 1 single crochet in each stitch. Just so you know, there's going to be 2 rows listed on your pause screens. So your first decrease round is going to be 8 single crochet decrease, and this will bring you down to 75 stitches. That is my 8 single crochets under both pieces. And then I'm still doing invisible decreases, but you can do whatever decrease you want to. So I'm back around. I've got my row of 1 single crochet in each of my 75 stitches. So my next decrease row is going to be 7 single crochet decrease, and this will bring you down to 67 stitches. That's number 1. That's 7 single crochets, and then your decrease, and repeat. So this is what it should look like. Just probably smaller if you're using a 4-weight yarn, but if you're using, I mean, it still should have the same shape, is my point. So this is the tippy tops of the fins. So we're coming into his butt now. So your next round is going to be 6 single crochets and a decrease. And this will bring you down to 59 stitches. So we have another decrease and then another row of 1 single crochet in each stitch, and then we're going to put our eyeballs in. So this next round is going to be 5 single crochets and a decrease. Hi, so we're going to put some eyes in. So this is my 4-weight little guy. And do you see these holes? So this is where when we first started and we did our in the round work. So I'm just above there with my eyes, just a couple of rows above where I started my initial chain. So that's the idea of where we're going with the eyes. So if you're doing a big guy like me, these here on the little guy, so on 4-weight yarn, these I believe are 12 millimeter eyes. On the big guy that I'm making here, I've got some 16 millimeters. 16 millimeter guys. And I think they're going to be okay. I haven't actually tried them, so I don't know what they're going to look like. So find the spot where you worked in the round and then just kind of go up 1 or 2 rows. Just try to stay in the same row. That's not bad. So I'm only up, yeah, the second one. So this is the first chain that I did, because I can see my little round spots from where I worked in the round. And then, so the second row up. So initially I said 11 rows or 11 stitches apart. So that's why I did my little guy here, was 11 stitches apart. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Sorry, I don't know if he was in the way or not. So I'm going to count this row below. And they have to be visible stitches. Let me get something to count with. Where's my hook? I count with my little needle. So they have to be visible stitches. So count these bumps here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 9, 10, 11. Oh, I got 12. I counted wrong. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12. Yeah, it works. Mine are 12 here, but counting has been a problem throughout this entire project, apparently. So, when I made this guy, I write a pattern. So I sit in front of the TV with my husband and I write patterns. Sometimes my numbers are a little off. So when I do the videos, I'm like, wait a minute, that doesn't add up right. And then I kind of got to wing it through. I kind of got to change numbers around as I go. But ultimately it ends up looking like it should. But this one seems to be exceptionally bad. And I don't know. Oh, I can't get the back on that. I don't know if it's because of the yarn that I'm using that I'm kind of going into the same stitch with 2 stitches, or if I'm missing stitches, but my counts have all been off. So, but at the end of the day, I'm not as anal as some people. At the end of the day, it's still going to look like a stingray. Some people would freak out if they were off by 1 stitch, but at the end of the day, it's still going to look like a stingray. So this is what you should have at this point. Let's continue with our decreases because this is so much fun. Our next decrease is going to be 4 single crochets and a decrease. You can start stuffing this at any time too. Now that we have the eyes on, you can start stuffing this at any time. So 4 single crochets and a decrease all the way around. We're still doing our same usual 1 single crochet in between. So I just finished my 1 single crochet in each stitch. You should have 43 stitches, and your next decrease round is going to be 3 single crochets and a decrease. So I have done my decrease round. So we're going to change it up a little bit. You should have 35 stitches. For the next 2 rows, I want you to put 1 single crochet in each of these 35 stitches. I'm going to stuff mine before I start doing these next couple rows. So when we meet back, you'll notice that mine is going to be stuffed. So for the next 2 rows, 1 single crochet in each of these 35 stitches, and I will see you on the other side. So our next rounds, we're going to be doing the 2 rows. We're going to be doing that in between our next one too. So our next decrease is going to be 2 single crochets and a decrease, and then you're going to follow that up with 2 rows of 1 single crochet. So mine is very large. Mine is taking a lot to stuff. He is absolutely, he feels really nice though. It's gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. So let's bring you back down here. So we're still decreasing. So we're going to do 1 single crochet and a decrease, and you're wondering how are we still decreasing, because we're at 1 single crochet decrease. We go back into a higher number of decreases just for the tail part. So this decrease is just kind of getting the butt to be the size that we need it to be to go into the tail. So after this decrease round, I want you to do 4 rows of 1 single crochet in each stitch. I will meet you back here after all 5 rows are complete. So that's my 4 rows done. Your next round is going to be 4 single crochets and a decrease. So now we want to make small decreases. So we go up in number. So for the next 4 rows, I just want you to put 1 single crochet in each stitch. So you currently should have 15 stitches. Your next round is going to be 3 single crochets and a decrease. So your next round is just going to be 1 single crochet in each of these 12 stitches. So your next round is going to be 2 single crochets and a decrease. So that is 9 stitches. So for your next round, I just want you to put 1 single crochet in each of these 9 stitches. Alright, 1 more decrease. 1 single crochet decrease. So, we got 6 stitches. For the next 10 rows, you're just going to put 1 single crochet in each of these 6 stitches. And remember to kind of stuff as you go. And then you can fasten off. That'll be the end of this because that's his tail, his long, skinny little tail. So, for the next 10 rows, 6 stitches, I'll see you on the other side. So, because I'm using this chunky yarn, I only did 5 rows and I'm fastening off. I'm not using 4-weight yarn, so I don't need to do the 10 rows. But it's completely up to you how long you want your tail, right? So this is, you know, the last bit of the project. So it's completely your choice what you want. What you want the tail, see if I can zoom out some more. What you want the tail to be. So I didn't really stuff the end of this part here. I didn't stuff it. I did put a lot of stuffing into that spot, but I want to be able to, you know, have his tail carve around and stuff like that. So that's just my preference. So we're just going to cinch this end closed. But again, it's completely up to you how long you want your tail. So once you got it cinched, so cinching is just in the front loop, out the front loop, in and out all the way around. And then I'm just going to make a couple of knots just for added security. And then weave down and around. So don't pull too hard on that. So again, I didn't stuff the very tippy end of it. There we go. That was a hard guy to stuff. He's pretty big. So there's my there's my, oh, he's upside down. There's my Stingray, the big guy. So thanks for joining me, guys. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and the fact that you have, you know, you can see the options between doing one with the bulky, really soft. I think my grandson's probably going to use this for a pillow, but it is super soft with this yarn. The size difference. Let me zoom out. There's the size difference. I can't even get this whole big guy in. I moved my computer. Yeah, I still can't. That's the end of his tail. So that's the size difference between a 4-weight and a chunky yarn and the exact same pattern. Thanks for joining me, guys. I'll see you in the next video.